and I'm proud of our guys. We talked about finished all the time. There were times we didn't finish during the night, but we finished when it mattered at the end, and that's the first time we've won an overtime game since I've been here. And we absolutely had it. We moved it to the middle of the field because Ryan Coe wanted it in the middle of the field. And then we missed the field goal, and kids were really down, but I'm so proud of them. They picked themselves back up. The staff picked themselves back up and went right back to work. So a lot of things we can fix. You usually don't win games when you don't make a 4th and inches on your own end to start the game, and then you don't make a 3rd and 1 to early in the game. That's 14 points that we lost right there. And then we gave up so many 3rd downs. And we gotta play tighter. We gotta be on them more. If they throw it over our head, what the heck? I mean, they had it 42 plays at halftime to our 29. So we can't play soft, and that's going to change. We just got to do a better job in that area. Great interception by Don Chapman, which changed the game. We got 3 points out of that. We didn't turn the ball over. Drake May was unbelievable at times when it mattered. I couldn't believe we have second and 15 to go win the game with the field goal, and we have a holding penalty. It was just that kind of night where nothing happened good for us, and we had to make things happen good for us and had to keep fighting through it and keep our head up. And we knew they were a good football team. Sean Clark's done a great job. There'll be some people whining at him. We've played App State 3 times. 3-point field goal at the end that we missed, 2 points that we stopped them on a 2-point play last year, and then an overtime game. He has done a great job, and I went down and told those kids that. Nobody lost this game. Those kids deserve a lot of credit for going on the road and fighting their guts out and playing down to the end. And the quarterback's unbelievable. He's a guy that we saw in the 4th quarter last week. He's 11 of 13 for 4 touchdowns. And then we thought, well, we'll rattle him and we'll make it tougher on him on the road, and he played great. So really proud for those guys as well, and they fought their guts out, and I'm glad we don't play them again. I'm an App State fan. I can keep my house, and I'm glad we don't play them again. So that's it. Also, offensive line, Omarion Hampton. Omarion's really a good player, and we saw that coming time and time again, but you saw it at times where he'd make a play. Tonight, he ran the ball so well for the whole game, over 230 yards rushing, and probably was the difference in the ball game. And when we needed it at the end, we rode the horse. And you dance. Coach Royal said many years ago, you dance with the one that brung you. And he's the one that got us to the end of the game, so we're going to let him come down to the end. Questions? Yes. No, last year we gave up 61 against this bunch. So I think when you look at comparisons, absolutely we're better and got to keep getting better. And this video, this film will really help us get better because there's a lot of things we can do to continue to improve. They will not be happy with themselves, and that's a good thing. And they made the 4th down stop at the end of the game to win a game. So that you got to give them credit for that.
Some of the things that you noted that pleasant about tonight's game. Still beat a quality team at home. Found a way to get a win. Maybe in years past, maybe you guys don't win this game. What does that say? What does that say about that progression chart that you've been?
Yeah, it was also a trap game. Minnesota is going to be a big game next week, and everybody's excited about it. National game. This is a local game. They didn't play very good against Gardner-Webb. Our guys have to sit there and watch that video. We've got to learn. People play us differently than they're going to see somebody else playing against Gardner-Webb on video. That's just it. So that's why we've got to clean up the mistakes that we made. But we played with more confidence tonight. We would have lost this game at times, probably even last year. But the guys never got their head down. They kept fighting. There was one drive that was 19 plays. And our defense just got tired, and we had to substitute. And thank goodness we've got some depth. Got to continue to play better at corner. But there's a lot of great things that come out of this game, and your goal is to be 2-0, and we're 2-0, and very few people in the country are.
Mack, you mentioned how proud you were of the team bouncing back and Ryan missed the field goal. Were there any particular players that Coach Craig saw sort of leading that
When you see guys like Sid Gray, he's just phenomenal with his leadership and pulling guys up and picking guys up, and Kamen Rucker. Those two guys are so emotional on the sideline, and they are not going to let people get down. Offensively, Drake, he just glows with confidence and always knows we're going to win the game. And Corey Gaynor is that way. Corey Gaynor picks up that offensive line, so those guys probably were the best leaders on the field.
Did you know most of the week that British probably wouldn't play, or was that more of a game time?
Chip, early in the week, he's one of the toughest guys on our team. And on Sunday, they tell me he's got a bruise, and I thought, he gonna play. I mean, he's the toughest guy on the field. And then he didn't practice Tuesday, and he did a lot of stuff on Wednesday, but he didn't get hit. He wasn't ready to do that. And then Thursday, he was still stiff. So I think he'll be fine for Sunday. But we knew that Omarion has done a great job, and we knew that Caleb Hood is really, really good. We've saw him in this game last year. We know Elijah Green can play. He's been a starter. So we decided that why put a guy out there that hasn't been hit all week that might fumble because of some pressure on a leg if it's close. And that's the decision we made. And we didn't make that decision until game time.
Hey, Mack, the decision on the offensive line to go with Diego and then move Will over or back to right guard, how did that come about? I mean, Diego really didn't play much last week until the very end of the game. I mean, what was the thought?
Yeah, Diego's gotten much better. And when Ed Montelis was out of the game after 9 plays last week, and he didn't even dress tonight. And then Jason Adorno's had a lower leg injury that's bothered him. So it was a natural move to put Will Barnes back where he's been and tell Diego, this is your shot, man. This is your chance. You've been waiting. I think he played 4 plays last week. Yeah. So good for him tonight. And we've said we're trying to build more depth in our offensive line. So what the heck, let him play. If he was in the transfer portal, everybody would be wanting him. So that's just the kind of world we're living in now. So let him play. And I know he got shoved back at a critical moment late in the game, but I thought overall it looked like he did a really good job.
I was going to ask you, without having seen the film, it looked like he and Willie Lampkin had some stretches where they opened up a lot of those holes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how much of Omarion's running was that counter?
Yeah, no question. All of it, most of it was downhill. And there were a lot of great people moving people inside, and I thought we wore them down some too. When you can do that, it just keeps the ball out of their hands, rests your defense, and gives you an opportunity to run the ball and makes it easier for Drake to throw it.
Mack, I think such an emotional high last week. Did you sense any kind of letdown throughout the week? And if so, was it just a sign of teamwork and all that?
I really didn't, but I didn't think our practice was quite as good as it was for South Carolina. And I kept talking to them about it, and you got to be really careful. You don't want to convince your team they can lose. So I've done that in the past, and you can't do it. So I heard Coach Beamer say our team had an awful practice Tuesday, and I thought, good. That's a positive for us. So we didn't have awful practices. I didn't think we were as sharp as we were the week before, and I think that was reflected tonight in some plays that we didn't make.
When you saw
Obviously, you've been a part of, many games. What did you make of the winding nature, I guess, of this one, especially in the fourth quarter with the amount of ties they changed and just everything else?
Well, it was just an absolute great game, and you love watching your kids and your coaches compete in those situations, and you learn so much about who you are. When people say, how do you look in preseason? Let me get in a tight game. Let me get in a game where you're behind, you have to come back and win the game, and then I'll tell you. And this team did that. And it would have been a tough loss for us if we hadn't done it. So really, really proud of the way they came back and kept fighting. And all it'll do, it lets us coach them harder tomorrow. It lets us talk to them more about the things that you didn't do than what you did do, and gives us an opportunity to get much better.
Drake's super competitive guy, obviously.
Who? Drake.
But I'm sure on that 2-point play, he must have maybe skipped a beat when you saw, he put his body at risk and tried to leap in the end zone. Took a pretty hard hit.
Drake wants to win. He wants to win more than anything in the world. He's so competitive. So We'll look and see, could he have hit a guy? I don't know. We've been working on two-point plays since spring practice started because they're real and they're here. I nearly went for two when we kicked the extra point, and I'm glad I didn't. But I nearly did because that's where at NC State last year, I nearly went for the 4th and 3 at Oregon. So it was in my mind, and actually some of the coaches talked me out of it and said, no, we're at home. Let's keep playing. Let's keep playing, and they were right.
How did Ryan seem after, like, have you talked to Mack at the beginning?
I have not. I talked to the Appalachian State kids, and then I went to talk to ours and came in here, so I haven't been able to see him. And you know what? He made 2 great long field goals and kicked the extra point at the end. So he helped us win the game, and he'll be really disappointed in his miss. Somebody back here.
You mentioned Drake's performance. Ultimately, he showed up when it mattered most, leading that great drive at the end of regulation, set you up for the game-winning field goal, and then scoring the game, rushing touchdown. You talk about how hard he is with himself, how much of a comparator he is. Did you have any immediate words of encouragement for him after the game to win like that?
Yeah, I walked over and told him, you're one of the best players I've ever seen. Thank you. Very few people could have won that game tonight. We had so many things happen bad and go against us. He never changed his expression. He just keeps playing. And the run for the touchdown in overtime was unbelievable. He just great fake and ride, and that's a read play. So he actually read it. His run to make a first down on a long yardage play, his throw across the middle a couple of times, his deep throw to JJ to get us right back in the game. I think we scored in like 4 or 5 plays. He's one of the best players that I've ever seen, and we're really, really lucky to have him. And I'll be hard on myself tonight. I'll go back and watch this thing, and I'll wonder why we didn't stop him on 3rd down. I'll wonder why we had a penalty, and I'll wonder why. And I'll beat myself up tonight, which I've got to be careful of. He'll do the same, and both of us need to do a better job of appreciating winning and being positive about things instead of beating ourselves up so much.
Have we seen the Wildcat get put on the shelf at this point?
No, the Wildcat's not what I want on 4th down and inches with a 6'5", 235-pound quarterback. So it's going to be put on the shelf for short yardage, for sure.
At all after that?
I was on it pretty quickly, and Chip agreed. I mean, if we'd made it, we made it at South Carolina. If we'd made it tonight, nobody would have said anything, and probably it would have been a mistake later on. So I'm glad it happened. We also didn't block the backside on the 3rd and 1, and we've got to do that. So those are things that we can do better as coaches, and we got some things we can do better on defense as coaches. So all those things are things that we'll look at, and thank goodness it's again, it's much easier to correct things after wins. Because they're easier to get on. If they're so down tonight because they let somebody down, then I get on them. It makes it worse. So I can be pretty aggressive tomorrow.
Matt, last one, man.
Yes.
Matt, there will be some points of emphasis for this week.
I'm sorry.
Some points of emphasis for you leading up to this Minnesota game.
The upcoming week is get rid of missed assignments, play better on 3rd down defense. Do a better job in short yardage offense, protect better. We had a holding penalty on a 3rd and 15 that we make. You can't do that. In key plays, you can't let somebody have 19 plays. And Minnesota will try to do that. They'll line up and they'll be more physical than App State. So they're going to enjoy watching this film. So go back and play with low pads. Go back and be aggressive. Got to play the ball better at corner. We had opportunity after opportunity. This is the kind of game it was. It's 4th and 1. We tell them they're probably going to hit the tight end. And Sid Gray covers him like a blanket. And he catches it. And then they throw a deep ball to 8 down our boundary. Marcus Allen's all over him. And I think we're going to intercept it. And he catches it. And there's a ball in the middle that Gio Biggers is going to intercept. And they hit him, and he doesn't catch it. So what we've got to do is do a better job of taking advantage of opportunities that we missed tonight. Somebody over here had one more, and I'll quit.
Yeah,
Somebody.
you said playfully earlier you were happy that you were done playing the half, but it does seem like these games generate interest. You talked about how great a game it was. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing for the state of North Carolina to have
Yeah, I think it's a great thing for the state of North Carolina to have, and I encourage NC State and East Carolina and all those people to schedule them and play them, because it is a fun game. I'm proud for App State. Like I said, they got East Carolina at home next week and go to Wyoming. I mean, Sean Clark we got a difficult schedule. He's got a real difficult schedule. So, one of the problems with those type games, we play Charlotte, we play NC Central next year, is that all of the pressure is on our kids. There's no pressure on App State because nobody thinks they're going to win a game. But all the pressure's on us, and unless we win, we're awful, and it just kills you because it's a regional game. I think that's the most difficult thing. Is it's a great game. I love Sean Clark. He played for Stacey Searles. He played for Coach Moore. I've known him. He's best friends with Lonnie Galloway. And I love watching those kids compete. I love his offense. I mean, you know what they're going to do, and they still do it. And they still do it good. The little back's unbelievable. He'll be a pro player. Yeah, but I'm 72. It's not my style. I don't want to go to overtime anymore at home with App State. So somebody said, "Didn't you go to overtime last year?" And I said, "No, we should have gone down on the onside kick, but we stopped them on the 2-point player. We would have been overtime last year, and then if we'd made the field goals, 56-yard field goal the first year I was here, that would have been overtime." So I've had enough. I'll enjoy my house in Linville and brag on all the App State players and their coaches, but I'm glad we're through.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you all. See you Monday.